Well, it's time for the Beach Lifestyle Show, and I've been just checking out my co-host, or host because it's his show, GJ Reynolds, and all he's doing in L.A. is just hobnobbing it with the rich and famous. And I'm just absolutely getting upset of what's going on when I'm sitting here in Pittsburgh, freezing cold, and he's just thinking, hey, it's going to be the easiest basketball game in the world. Someone welcome to the program, GJ. GJ, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, and I'm definitely much warmer than where you're at. So, yes, I'm enjoying the L.A. life and the L.A. weather, although it has been a little chilly out here. 70 degrees, it's a little chilly.
So. We have to go ahead and have a pity party for GJ. But GJ has been training, but I don't know about basketball. It just seems like every time I'm just seeing you with another celebrity, TMZ's following you. But I want to welcome the program today, our first guest, and it's a Hollywood actor, producer, director, Juddy Talt, Language of a Broken Heart. Juddy, thanks for calling.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me,
Well, we're excited to talk to you, Juddy, because, again, what we see, and GJ sees this all the time in Hollywood, is that basically everyone is in their process of trying to make their big break, and specifically get out there and do certain things. So what we do on this business show is really talk about how we brand, how we started as this, because as I've gathered from talking to tons of actors, you really have to figure out ways to brand yourself and reinvent yourself in this business, isn't it? Isn't that true?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I can't do one without the other. I mean, I couldn't just act or I couldn't just write. But, I'm just trying to make my voice heard in this town. And look, there's a lot of people trying to do it. But when you can do both, or you can try to be a double threat or a triple threat, or even just for me, just try to produce my own material just because no other producer is going to hire me for a leading role except for me. So that's really how you do it.
Exactly, and then find out the right way of coming up with stuff. And GJ and I talked about this as well, and GJ's seen my process since we first met a year and a half ago. I've reinvented myself about 5 different times, finding certain ways of interviewing people differently, finding different markets for my business, adding different businesses like our business partnership. So I guess, what we find out a lot of times is that we always have to reinvent ourselves to be successful as an entrepreneur. Branding. And
go ahead,
Jay.
And we get bored.
Right.
Right?
So isn't that true?
I mean, we do get...
Yeah, right, Juddy.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, GJ, isn't that true?
Well, it is true, and you've also reinvented yourself as trying to be a basketball player, by the way, for those that have been following us. So, Juddy, you started to talk about branding and so forth. Why don't you go ahead and share your thought real quick?
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to brand myself in this world right now, and I think that I've kind of cornered myself as I've come out of the gate with a very, romantic, kind of mainstream romantic comedy. And sure, it's from a guy's point of view, which is a little bit different. I mean, how many guys get their heart broken? Well, a lot, but how many guys write about it? Not a lot. So I decided to take that route and, say that we can be sensitive too.
Well, absolutely, Juddy, and basically how you broke into the business, that's what a lot of people want to know, specifically your career so far in acting, and specifically what led you to The Broken Heart. That's a smart idea. You said you got a right to put yourself as a lead role, so what tell us a little bit about your acting career.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I grew up in just outside of L.A., and I grew up on stage, the Pasadena Playhouse, and doing a lot of community theater, and I knew that I always wanted to, definitely grow up, be an actor on the stage. In 8th grade, I learned that, I won some oratorical writing contest, and I said, oh, great, I can write too. By the time I got to college, I really just wanted to make films. I wanted to be like these other guys that just, like Quentin Tarantino, these greats that just go out and Woody Allen, just write and produce their own stuff. And that's a hard thing to do. I may never be like that, but at least for my first deal, that was kind of my goal, was just to go out and no matter what, have this script, take it out. I don't care who else wants to do it, as long as I can do it, be in it, produce it and do all that. That's how I'm going to make this film.
Well, most definitely, and specifically enough, Juddy, tell us a little bit, our audience, some of the parts you've been in before The Language of a Broken Heart.
Well, not a lot. I've written some scripts, and I was in, I guess, started rolling the Horse Whisperer. I mean, in the Ghost Whisperer, excuse me. But I did a lot of stage work, so there really wasn't much on screen experience for me, except that this is what I knew I wanted to do, and I just kind of put my head down and just focused on this project only. I mean, I had to go out and produce it. I raised the money for it. I got a great producer involved named Carrie McCluggage, used to run Paramount Television, and we went and just kind of worked on it for. I mean, it's been a 5-year prospect, so now that it's finally seen the light of day, this has been my life.
Then that's very interesting, and very interesting, DJ, when we talk about in business how we take on certain projects and we are laser focused on that. Like, for example, GJ's book. You really, when you were writing your book, some of the things went to the back burner, so you really put the focus and intention into it, right, G?
Correct. And what I found is in order to pull off a project correctly and doing it the right way, you have to have a consistent focus. And obviously, Juddy, you've been able to do that. And the other thing that brings a point is that you said, here's who I am, here's what I'm good at, here's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to follow through and do that and keep that focus. And no matter what, I'm going to make sure I get this film made, and I'm going to do all the things necessary. And it sounded like you had a lot of intention in the beginning, and all of a sudden the things started to come together. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you applied your attention, the intention of doing this film, and then also, how things started to come about, so our listeners can say, hey, by putting in the right intention, the right focus, they're able to achieve whatever there may be, and it probably isn't going to be to do right and conduct or produce a film. So why don't you share a little bit more about, how you use that intention and how you stay the course?
Well, yeah, I think absolutely. I think that to be, kind of funny in a way, I think I said it's definitely I'm just an obsessive person. And I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew exactly how to get it. And there was literally nothing that was going to stop me. I mean, I think people, didn't want to be around me for a period of time because I was so obsessed with the project. It's all I talked about. It's all I focused on. It's all I ever wanted, And unfortunately, I mean, it takes that type of obsession in a way to kind of find your way through it and keep involved in it and because there's a lot of it's a huge roller coaster. There's ups and there's downs and there's ups and there's downs. The project is alive. The project's dead. I mean, we weren't even fully funded when we started shooting the film. We didn't have Oscar Nunez from The Office yet, who plays the therapist in it when we started shooting. He came on like halfway through, and I looked at the director and was like, "Oh my God, thank God we have someone to play that part." And as good as Oscar Nunez, who's from The Office and hilarious and grew up improv and all that stuff. But I mean, with this process, it really was. It was like an obsession for me. And look, I can't control what other people are going to do. I cannot control what producer is going to want to do something with me. I can't control what director is going to want to do something with me. I can control what I can do, what's in front of me every day. And as long as I can get up and write and produce my own stuff, then who's to stop me? Who's to say no? Because I'm not going to say no.
Well, most definitely. Well, go ahead, sorry.
Well, yeah, and I know I'm jumping in here, Neil. What I like about this is that you said, here's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to go do it. And I know a lot of people come to Hollywood with these big dreams and aspirations, and then, like you said, they're at the mercy of the producer, the directors, and the casting agents. And you said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create my own path, and no matter what, it's going to come to fruition, which in this case it has. And it's been a best picture in some of the film festivals, and so you got great accolades, and you from start to finish, and now it's getting good acknowledgments, with your peers. I mean, so it's a great testament to say, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find a way, no matter what, and the right things will happen along the way. And that's very inspiring to me as an entrepreneur, and it's also inspiring to our audience who, they're looking to do something and just stay on the course and then focus again. I know that I've already said that. So I'm just excited to see somebody come in and say, I'm going to do things a little different, and I'm going to do it my way, and it all works out. So high five.
Yeah, and I think. Yeah, I think that, I mean, it takes a little bit of, I think I was probably a little bit delusional along the way. I mean, it's just, for some reason, though, you just kind of stay focused on it, and you keep pounding the pavement, and all of a sudden, you're shooting the film, and you just failure isn't an option for you. You never imagine that it's not going to come out in theaters, even though the probability is that it won't, that people won't see it. And for some reason, it is coming out in theaters. It opens in New York City at Regal, and in Austin and L.A. now, and hopefully we'll expand to more and more markets. So we're really excited about that, and that's truly the best case scenario for us. And it's just a proof that even, when you are delusional like that, you can find that success that you want.
I'm a big fan of delusional. Like GJ's delusional, He can beat me in basketball, but I was delusional with my radio show. I started Juddy on a college radio station before I went to 90-plus stations, and I was literally funded by myself. And then I surrounded myself with the right people through continue perseverance, staying up all night, doing certain things. I don't have the energy now because I'm so swamped with things, but at the right place, right time, we find those opportunities for our listeners out there. And the key component is raising money. That's the thing. And I know Hollywood people are listening to this as well, Juddy, because again, I'm creating this huge group of people, and GJ is as well, and they're checking out interviews, especially with you guys, to see were you able to raise the money? Because guess what? You would not be in theaters without raising money. There's no picture without raising money. So how did you raise the money?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it takes a certain type of personality to, honestly, when you're raising money, it takes 20 no's to get one yes. Raising money is awful. I mean, I will say to you, it's awful. Asking people for money all the time for a project that's almost an invisible project. Hey, I'm going to star in this film. I have no credit to my name. It's my first feature. It's the director's first feature. But don't worry, we're going to be a good shepherd to your money. And, I mean, that's a hard thing to do, but it's really just how you present yourself. Look, we had a great package. We developed a really, really solid business plan. We had attorneys and everything that supported that and all the investment agreements, and it was a legit deal. And honestly, I just kept calling people and meeting people and calling and calling. Some people kicked me out. Some people said, okay, gosh, I like this persistence. I admire it. And because of that, I'm going to, throw in a little bit of money to this film. But it's not, I even though I was successful at it, I cringe at the thought of doing it again because it is, I mean, look, one guy told me this, and it's the best advice when raising money. You're going to have a list of people that you think you're going to get money from, and they're all going to say no. But that list is going to grow. They're going to tell you someone who might be interested, and that person's going to tell you someone that might get interested, and all of a sudden your bubble gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And yeah, I ended up raising money for people that I don't even know, and now I do, and it's just the way it works. But that's a long process, and it's just, again, 20 no's to get one yes. I remember this one guy told me no in kind of a mean way. He said, let me soften the no for you. And I'm like, well, don't even soften the no. Give me a freaking no. But, I actually looked at him and I said, thank you for that no. I needed that no. I just need 5 more before I can get a yes. So...
Well, and that's what, and Juddy, now you're taking the role of GJ and I as entrepreneurs. We're going to get a lot of no's. And honestly, Juddy, I'm going to get a lot of no's sometimes trying to get guests. For example, working on with my one of my producers, trying to get Eric Trump on the show. And we keep trying, and we're going to get him, but it's going to take time. Certain people just come out of the woodwork, and you keep trying, persevering through it. And then also, hey, come on now, you could broadcast our show. You're going to get no's. But GJ knows this firsthand as an entrepreneur, and I do as well, that you're going to have to get no's to get that yes, right, G?
Yes, and I actually did a training call last night for about 1,000 people, and one of the things that we talked about was the no's, and people sometimes people are saying no because they're just looking at it, they're checking out, they're watching, they're evaluating, they're seeing what you're really going to do before they pull that trigger. And as Juddy said, and then they may say, what, this isn't for me. However, I do know somebody that might be interested, and they're still watching. So you never know who's watching and why they're watching. And, the key is staying that course. And, so it's been a common theme, and that persistence. And Juddy, you talked about persistence. And, this show is about helping people achieve more and be more. And whatever you're doing out there in your world and your life, persistence is key. And so, you're a testament. It's your great success story, and everybody has a story, and you're sharing that story. So where can we find more information on you, about the movie, and about yourself, and also what you're doing next, so we can have our fans be following you?
Yeah, absolutely. Just, all I care is that you guys go to www.languageofabrokenheart.com. That's the name of the movie, languageofabrokenheart.com. And go check it out. You can see all about me, my bio, what I'm up to. You can see everyone involved in the film. It's really a great website. Our one sheet's on there, our trailer, and you can see where the film is playing, what theaters, and keep on going and checking it because, we'll be expanding to more and more cities and more theaters. So hopefully it'll be, at a theater near you.
And also, Juddy, what is your 90-day challenge? This is the thing. You come on this show, we all have to set goals for ourselves. And as entrepreneurs, GJ and I do this constantly, weekly, but 90 days is a great time to make a change. So where do you see yourself in the next 90 days with your business, your health, your life? Basically, what is your 90-day challenge right now?
My 90-day challenge is just, that's exactly what it is. I'm trying to, the next film fully funded, and I'm looking to double the size of the budget. So we did this for $1 million. I'm looking to do the next film for $2 million, and I'm trying to get that in 90 days. And other than that, I'm just trying to enjoy my life. I'd like to go surf more. I'd like to get outside more. And I'm an active guy, so I need to kind of have that release. Surfing's a great release for me. Working out's a great release for me. Being outside's a great release for me. So that's my 90-day. So,
Juddy, Pittsburgh would not be a great release for you. 30 degrees. I don't think we're going surfing anytime soon. But I'll be out in L.A. Go ahead, Juddy. What are you going to say?
Well, you guys, what do you guys need good... Is there any good skiing around you guys?
Well, GJ's in L.A. I'm right now in Pittsburgh. There's not but basically I would say there's releases. Trust me, but not in this winter, not February, not freezing cold. Where GJ's from, they got dumped on tons of snow, so he's very happy he's in L.A. right now. So it is what it is. But Juddy, definitely stay on the line after we take the break because we are recording and we want to kind of get some more information from you so we can. Keep promoting the film, maybe bring back a couple other actors on the show to talk about it so we can keep promoting Language of a Broken Heart. So thanks for calling.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Nice meeting you guys.
All right, take care. You're listening to The Beach Lifestyle Show with host GJ Reynolds and myself, Neil Haley, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thousands of people a day are joining this hottest 90-day weight loss and fitness challenge in North America. The Body by Vi 90-Day Challenge from Visalis.
The shake is delicious.
The shake mix that tastes like a cake mix.
Folks are dropping weight. Folks are muscling up.
I lost 57 pounds.
30.5 pounds. I went from a size 10 to a size 6.
I lost 66 pounds on my 90-day challenge.
Everybody's doing it. Even athletes, celebrities, sports and fitness professionals, such as Hulk Hogan.
If you want to get in shape, lose weight, and stay fit, now is the time. Are my Hulkamaniacs up for the challenge?
Roy Jones Jr.
There are a lot of people who want to see themselves trimmed down or just tone themselves up, and this is a great way to start.
With millions of pounds lost and over $10 million a year in free product, prizes, and vacations, people just like you are looking good, living it up, and feeling like stars.
We've got some amazing incentives.
The Hollywood Transformation Vacation is incredible.
Having the red carpet rolled out, treated like kings and queens.
It's all true, and it's happening for so many of us.
The best part is you can get yours for free. Yep, I said it, free.
Can't be free. Everybody likes free.
It's our Refer 3 and Get Yours for Free program.
Get 3 people to take the challenge with you.
That's right. Refer 3 people to the same or greater kit, and you'll get your challenge product the next month for free.
We're back to the Beach Lifestyle Show with host GJ Reynolds and myself, Neil Haley, the Total Tutor, and TotalTutor.net, SimplyG.com, and especially if you want to join the 90-day challenge, we are thechallenge.com. And GJ, I really like Juddy. Juddy was an interesting guy.
very interesting, and definitely the definitely poster child for being persistent and staying the course. And I know our next guest has done the exact same thing, and she's been on the Today Show, The Big Idea, the Rachel Ray Show. She was featured on Shark Tank, and she's an entrepreneur, and she's grown her successful business with the Original Runner Company. Please welcome to the show, Julie Goldman.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Well, fantastic. I'm excited to talk to you. I remember exactly the episode. My wife is big into weddings, and she was like, wow, and I remember completely what happened in specific ways. But I want to go bring the audience back, about specifically looking at how you came up with the idea for your product. Because being an entrepreneur show, we all have our ideas. We all have them. But they start at the beginning process and grow and grow and grow. So tell us about how you came up with your idea.
Sure. My product for the Original Runner Company is we make the world's only non-slip fabric aisle runners. So if you're getting married, it's the fabric that runs down the center of the aisle, or really it could be a grand entrance for any type of event. And really it was one of those stories of necessity becoming the mother of invention. I was being married, and I needed an aisle runner to cover unbelievably hideous carpeting in my venue. And I thought it would be really easy to just go and purchase something at the local store. But what you find when you go to your local craft store and such is aisle runners that are either plastic, like a child's party tablecloth, or paper, very similar to the dryer sheets that you put in your home dryer. Neither of them are very safe. They rip. They look cheap. And I was having a very nice Saturday night wedding, and I could not believe these were my only options. So I proceeded to make something for myself. I had always been crafty, but I worked in a completely different field, and I basically created something that looked like a path of fall leaves had fallen down the entire aisle. And it was very popular at the wedding, but also my florist, my photographer, and the venue all asked where I had purchased it and asked whether I could make them for them. And pretty much it kind of grew from there.
It sounds unbelievable, and like I said, how we come up with these ideas, especially when we talk about runners, a lot of times not being that kind of fabric. They're destroyed very easily, so what a great idea. And GJ, we all know that once we have those ideas and we really think that they're a great idea, we just want to keep rolling, G. As we talked about with Juddy, it's a good theme. Juddy just kept persevering, and it seems like Julie did the same.
Well, correct. And a lot of people have great ideas. It's another thing to have a great idea and then choose action on that great idea. And Julie's been able to do that. And our last guest, Juddy, he was able to do that as well. And, they saw an opportunity. They knew exactly what to choose, and they chose that action. And created a business model around it, and that's how a lot of our businesses get started in our world today. Is they're solving a problem that they're exactly faced with themselves, and they come up with the idea and they choose that action. So, Julie, you've been able to do it. So what were some of the challenges that you were faced with initially when you first got started with? Once it sounds like you solved the challenge for yourself for your wedding. And they're like, hey, there's an opportunity here. What were some of the things that you used to transition, and maybe some of the challenges that you were faced in going from solving your own personal challenge to creating your own successful business?
I think, starting any business is always a challenge, especially if you have never started a business before. I was always entrepreneurial-minded, but I did own a previous business, but it was a very different type of model. So I think coming into a product-based business, as mine is, it was really figuring out how to manufacture the product in the United States, which was what I wanted, but also at a cost where we could be profitable. Our runners are fabric, and then they have a non-slip foam backing on the back, which means no heels are going through them, and they're going to stay flat and smooth. That's what makes us unique. But it also means that it's an expensive product. It's cotton, it's oil, there's a lot of expensive resources that go into our product. So I think resourcing is a really difficult thing when you're originally starting, and we've refined and changed the formula as we've moved and grown. But truthfully, our launch was pretty easy. We did put up a website. We thought we would see what would happen, and people started ordering almost right away. And within a month of the company being launched, we were contacted by Lifetime Television to do a wedding for them. And 3 months later, we did the Bachelorette Tristan and Ryan's wedding, and honestly, we haven't looked back since. It's been crazy, and we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary this year, and we're a multi-million-dollar company.
Well, that's fantastic, and what we're trying to do by bringing on Shark Tank contestants is specifically the whole fact fact of the interesting thing of this, because you, as I found out interviewing another guest last week, you can't really mention a lot of your other plugs because they don't want you to plug other shows. So when you go on, it sounds like you guys are not very known, except because they script you in so many ways. I found that out, so that was something that I learned last interview, and that's what I love about interviewing people. But specifically, tell us why you decided to go on to Shark Tank.
I'm actually part of a few different women's entrepreneur groups, and shows like Shark Tank actually look for contestants in those types of groups. So the first year the show aired, they did approach some people in this entrepreneur group that I'm in and asked us to participate, and I personally believe I would never be on a reality show I've never seen before. You never know what you're getting into. So I was asked to be on it. I said no, and then again the second year I was approached about it, and I said, okay, let me study the show. Let me look. So, I went on YouTube, and I watched every video of every episode. I wrote down the questions that all the judges asked, so I really knew how to be prepared. And I looked at it, and I thought, this is okay, a good opportunity to expose my brand and my product to a national audience, as I have on television before, but this is obviously a very large, millions and millions of people audience. I'm not sure I was exactly looking for a deal. What I pitched on the show, you have to pitch something on the show that is new. I wasn't really moving into retail stores, which is what I pitched on the show, but it was a good pitch, and if it was something that worked, I might have considered it, and I did look into it afterwards, and it wasn't financially working for us. But I do agree with what you said, that, they wanted to portray that I was a younger company that I wasn't as successful as I was. The numbers that you present on the show aren't always, let's say, accurate.
Oh, wow. That's a surprise, isn't it? Because you see these great ideas, and they said they didn't make a certain amount of money. So it just goes back to reality is truly not reality, GJ.
Yes.
Gee.
Absolutely. So what's been great is that the contestants and the entrepreneurs we've had have all been authentic and been real, and they've given us the real scoop and the real story. And so there's always that backstory. So it keeps us busy as well. So Julie, where can our audience find more information about your company and yourself, and so please give us your contact info, please.
Sure. The Original Runner Company is an online-based business, so you can always find us at originalrunners.com. We have a big Facebook presence under the Original Runner Company, and if you're interested in the backstory of my Shark Tank experience, we do have the entire story on our blog, which is isleguru.com, or you can also find the blog through our website. And if you just search Shark Tank, you'll be able to find the whole backstory of what really happened.
Well, trust me, Julie, you're on the hot seat. We're going to find out more about this because I'm very interested, and GJ knows because I'm a huge fan of the show. And like I said, by me, I guess I do produce as well. I'm not just a host, but I produce lots of things. I come up with these ideas, and I said, well, if I start bringing on all the Shark Tank contestants to my nationally syndicated shows, you know what's going to happen? One point, we're going to get one of the sharks because the word's going to get out. Hey, we're coming out here, because a lot of times I consider you guys bigger than life, bigger than a lot of even movie people, because people have seen you on TV, and once you're on TV, you get that 15 minutes of fame. I don't forget this episode, but let's kind of get the people that didn't, because I remember my wife and I talking and saying, oh my gosh, people spend a lot on weddings. What are they thinking, these sharks? So explain kind of the fake reality of this. Of what happened
you're seeing such a small part of the conversation. I think I was out there 45 minutes to an hour, and you probably saw barely 15 minutes of that. So, I think that the editing is always a little bit tricky. But I was happy with it. I was happy with how the whole thing went. I enjoyed the experience of it. But for me, what it was, I was putting my aisle runners in retail stores such as, Michael's and places like that. And they basically said off camera, most of them were like, you're doing a great job. You don't need us. Just keep doing what you're doing. But Kevin O'Leary did, make an offer for 51% of my company for $250,000, which was a ridiculous number, given that the number I quoted on air was that I made $650,000 that year, which was under what I really made. But the point is, obviously, $250,000 of a business I made almost $700,000 that year is not 51%. So, the numbers were ridiculous. I think, him running around, he was basically saying, don't spend my time trying to pitch to the lower end market, the toilet bowl weddings, as he called them. I should just keep my eye focused on the luxury weddings, which we do, but we believe that safe aisle runners should be accessible to everyone in the world, not just people who, have tons of money. So the idea, that we have products that start at $145 and products that go up to $3,000. So, we're something for everyone. We can fit any budget. but that wasn't what the Sharks thought I should be doing. They very strongly thought I should just stay with the luxury market.
And that's hilarious because, now I'm more and more... See, Julie, my career before being an entrepreneur and a teacher was I was a professional wrestler. And guess what? We were... So I knew it was a work. I knew reality TV, and that's why we use the word work, because when we wrestle each other, we call it a work. Meaning it's fixed. So a lot of ways, I was so interested to hear the back scenes of this. So if I keep interviewing them, GJ, we got another book to come out. You and I could interview all the Shark Tank contestants and tell the true what really happens in the Shark Tank. That's a good idea, isn't it, G?
Yeah, as truly seen on Shark Tank.
Exactly. Till they go after us. But we'll have to say. But no. Because they would, ABC. But, this is interesting, isn't it? I think it's interesting. I think that what I love about Shark Tank, and I want GJ's perspective, is that it really is good education on understanding your product and brand, even though the numbers aren't true. So people out there that want to be like Julie have to understand if their business is really worth a lot of money, they have to have the bottom end to be profitable. Like they say, I did $500,000 in sales, but I only profited $20,000. Then it's a problem, right, G?
Correct, and one of the things about the show and I'm a big fan of the show as well, and being an entrepreneur for 22 years, there's a lot of great fundamental things that anyone can learn, and we watch it as a family. And although I've been out in LA so much, I haven't watched the show in the last 6 weeks. But my family records it. But we watch it as a family, and there's some good lessons learned. That go ahead and be able to start a business and then understand some of the growing pains and some of the challenges, and then understanding that your growth is important and the numbers are important, and then being prepared to know what those numbers are, and being prepared what your pitch is and how you're going to present your product and your company and your services, and so it's a great lesson and a learning tool that I see my kids embrace every week. And there's always some great stories. And what's good about it is we've had, a handful of Shark Tank contestants on there, and now they're our friends. So we've got the show's creating new friends for Neil and I. So we're pretty happy about that.
Yes. Good, Julie.
So Julie, what's on the horizon for you and your company, and then also just share your website one more time.
Sure. Our company is always expanding our line and growing. We do lots of really big celebrity weddings like Kim Kardashian and people like that. So, we have a lot of big celebrity weddings coming out for this summer, which will be very exciting, which we can't announce until they happen. But we are introducing new patterns, and we're always introducing new products. We do a line of accessories. So anything that can be made out of fabric for an event, we do it. Banners, pillows, whatever it may be. So that's always exciting. It's trying to take the brand. But as we move into this year, into our 10th summer, we're going to celebrate the heck out of it. We're going to run some really great promotions through our Facebook page. So if you're interested in the Original Runner Company, just look us up on Facebook or originalrunners.com.
Well, I really enjoyed talking to you, Julie, and I wish I could talk to you for hours because I like to hear the behind the scenes. I guess because I was behind the scenes in so many things in the entertainment field that anytime I hear these things, it cracks me up because knowing you think that it's like in a building and then there's a trailer outside you're waiting in, and sometimes it's 4 hours that you're pitching the Sharks. You could just didn't imagine that type of stuff. But what is your 90-day challenge? What is your goal, Julie? What do you want to? What is the major thing you would like to achieve in the next 90 days? And we set goals on this show all the time.
It's really funny you say that. I'm actually really doing that. My company is actually mostly wholesale based. We sell mostly to event planners, florists, venues. I do sell direct to bride, but it's definitely not our largest percentage of business. And as we're moving into large resort-based weddings, I'm heading off to the Caribbean in 2 weeks, meeting with some huge resorts. And some of these large resorts have 10,000 to 15,000 weddings a year. So partnering with these types of companies, which we already do with brands like Disney and such, where we do all of the Disney weddings and things like that, is really the where we're pitching and growing our business next, is trying to land bigger bulk business.
Well, fantastic. I wish you all the luck on that venture. And again, is there a Facebook or Twitter we can follow your business as well?
We are. On Twitter, we're just @Wedding Runners. And on Facebook, you just search the Original Runner Company.
Well, Julie, stay on the air for a second when we take this break because we want to get your contact information so we can stay in touch and be friends and tweet you out throughout all the times this will air on different stations on our network because that's what I try to do is tweet them all out and keep the relationship going. So thanks again for calling, Julie, and best of luck and safe travels.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, take care. You're listening to the Beach Lifestyle Show with host GJ Reynolds, myself, Neil Haley, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thousands of people a day are joining this hottest 90-day weight loss and fitness challenge in North America. The Body by Vi 90-Day Challenge from Visalis.
The shake is delicious.
The shake mix that tastes like a cake mix.
Folks are dropping weight. Folks are muscling up.
I lost 57 pounds.
30.5 pounds.
I went from a size 10 to a size 6.
I lost 66 pounds on my 90-day challenge.
Everybody's doing it. Even athletes, celebrities, sports and fitness professionals, such as Hulk Hogan.
If you want to get in shape, lose weight, and stay fit, now is the time. Are my Hulkamaniacs up for the challenge?
Roy Jones Jr.
There are a lot of people who want to see themselves trimmed down or just tone themselves up, and this is a great way to start.
With millions of pounds lost and over $10 million a year in free product, prizes, and vacations, people just like you are looking good, living it up, and feeling like stars.
We've got some amazing incentives.
The Hollywood Transformation Vacation is incredible.
Having the red carpet rolled out, treated like kings and queens.
It's all true, and it's happening for so many of us.
The best part is you can get yours for free. Yep, I said it, free.
Can't beat free. I mean, everybody likes free.
It's our Refer 3 and Get Yours for Free program.
Get 3 people to take the challenge with you.
That's right. Refer 3 people to the same or greater kit, and you'll get your challenge product the next month for free.
We're back to the Beach Lifestyle Show with host GJ Reynolds and myself, Neil Haley, the Total Tutor. And I was off there getting ready to introduce our next guest, but I still want to talk about Shark Tank. GJ, you know I could definitely interview Julie again because I'm becoming this investigative reporter, as you know, as a journalist, to find out truly what's happening in Shark Tank. You see that, G, don't you?
Yes, Detective Haley. You have a new title. Detective Haley is in the house.
Well,
and through your detective ability, you found out that our next guest is from Pittsburgh originally and moved out to L.A. to become an actor, and he's been doing some great things out in Hollywood. He's been on The Lincoln Lawyer with Matthew McConaughey, and he's been in a host of other movies, and he's in a movie that's getting ready to come out called Runner with Ben Affleck and Justin Timberlake. And so please welcome to the show, Christian George. How are you doing, Christian?
Hey, GJ, how you doing?
Doing fantastic, and we're in a much weather climate than what Neil Haley is.
No, that's
Detective Haley.
I'm very familiar with those winters.
Oh my gosh! And I mean, and you're speaking to me in so many ways, Christian, because it's kind of funny when you talk about a Pittsburgh actor. I think the closest one was the one from that grew up a little bit in Pittsburgh, but was more a Pennsylvania boy. And I saw how the Pennsylvania boys we connected when I interviewed someone from the Extreme Homemaker Home Division show. And so I'm excited to talk to you about your career and how you started out as an actor. But first, tell us, it's pretty much GJ did a great bio on you, why you became an actor. I mean, that's really interesting. And now I guess with the big, to be co-starring with Ben Affleck and Justin Timberlake, we want to definitely get to that. But first of all, why you became an actor?
Well, I moved out to California when I was 18, so about 18 years ago. And just trying to find my way. I had an opportunity to come out. And oddly enough, I was a professional dancer for about the first 8 years of my career. And I danced for everybody, for Britney Spears, Puff Daddy, and Will Smith, and working on jobs with Michael Jackson. And, it was great, and it was a great experience, and it took me around the world. But, had interest in doing other things, and then I dabbled in acting a little bit during that time, and then I got into music, and I ended up getting a record deal. I released a single, and that did really well. But over time, I still had like this urge to act, and I did a couple small projects with the director of the Lincoln Lawyer and a runner, a guy named Brad Furman. And he took a real liking to me, and we became close, and was always very supportive of me. He said, "You got to be acting. You got to be acting. You got to be acting." So, the ideal role came up, and I ended up in Runner 18 years later. The dream job.
Well, it's amazing. In a lot of ways, GJ, we just don't know where we're going to end up. I talked about it before when I met you for the first time in Kansas City a year ago. I never thought that I'd be traveling with you out to L.A., and then I would be introducing you to many, many interesting celebrities, and then we were going to hang out with them in L.A. Things just really are different. When we decided to do our radio show, Christian, GJ and I was just saying, I'll produce and co-host an entrepreneur show. We never thought we were going to be meeting all these cool people, right, G?
Well, that's true. We knew we had a good prospectus for a good show, and so we had the right intention, and then obviously the right things came about, and that's sort of been the theme of the show is with our first two guests, persistence, having that intention, being persistent, and staying the course, and that's what we've done, and of course it's evolved, and here we are, over a year later with the show and going from, I joked, one listener to over 2 million listeners, and that's growing every month. And now we're being syndicated on other networks, and, it's a pretty amazing thing. And then, as you said, to be interviewing such cool people and great stories. And Christian, you're an 18-year success story. But you had that intention. I'm going to go to Hollywood and see what happens, and you stayed the course. And a lot of people, as you know, they come out here and with the right intention, but they just weren't able to stay the course, and they end up going back home or go wherever else. And you've been able to do that. So why don't you share a little bit some of the ups and downs that you've been able to learn and go through in that process? Because it's really what we're talking about, the process and learning experiences, and someone to be able to go, travel the world globally and perform with some of the greatest acts, out there. It's a pretty awesome thing. So, what about some of the ups and downs that you would encounter before you started really having the success and finding your groove to where you're at now?
Well, I mean, it's peaks and valleys, and it, it's so funny you said, like, with being from Pittsburgh, because, I feel like growing up in that sort of environment, it's such a hard-working, humble, just good people, and you learn a lot of great things about, how to live your life. It's a great place to grow up, and so. There's no quitters, in Pittsburgh. We're all hard-working people. So, you come out here and you got to take your shots, and, you get knocked down, you got to get back up and keep going. And, that's what it was. I didn't know what exactly my path was going to be when I got out here. I just knew that I wanted to be out here. That's why I ended up doing so many different things, because I was never in really the position to say no to anything. I figured it out along the way, and, fortunately enough, a couple things fell into place, and here we are.
Right place, right time, Christian. You always got to have the goal in mind. You said you wanted to stay in Hollywood, you wanted to stay in L.A., so you found certain talents, and you never thought it would lead you to acting. You thought, okay, I'm a dancer, I'm involved in music, a singer, so I guess specifically it's very interesting how your career goes, and then now you're in acting, and now people are saying especially being in this big film. So tell us specifically about Runner, and what will this kind of change your career, because you've only been in some small parts so far in acting, with this opportunity in Runner.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing the way the whole thing came about, because originally the director had me in mind to play one of Timberlake's friends, and that didn't work out. And what ultimately ended up happening, I had a very, very, very small part in the movie. And I had 2 lines. And I was on my way down to Puerto Rico. We shot in Puerto Rico for Costa Rica, because the script takes place in Costa Rica. And 3 days before I went down there, I get an email saying that one of the parts, the actor just backed out of the movie to go do another movie, and an email went around suggesting that I play this part. So literally, it was like the ultimate Hollywood story, how, a relatively, nobody, if you will, for the sake of story, ends up, getting this big break. And 3 days later, I ended up in Puerto Rico and been up for 2 days for 2.5 months, playing Ben Affleck's best friend in the movie.
Wow. What a story.
So it was pretty surreal, and, it's still, even to talk about it, it's just crazy the way it all happened, but, it was very, very fortunate. I'm very fortunate.
Well, absolutely. Now, and I think GJ, as we all know, once you get that big part, if it's a success, you're creating those relationships, and he's definitely surrounding himself with the right people. GJ, Christian, Ben Affleck, Justin Timberlake. He's doing exactly what you say in your book, G.
Right. Well, you become who you hang out with. So obviously, you're picking the right guys to hang out with. So they're having some pretty good success. So some of that's going to rub off on you. So.
Well, absolutely, Christian. I think, as GJ was saying about surrounding and rubbing off on you. So, are these stars rubbing off on you? By the way, you must have learned a lot from working with those 2 actors.
As you can imagine, it was such a amazing experience. These are guys that are at the top of their game, and it's like going to school every day. But the best school in the world. So I couldn't wait to wake up every morning. It was really cool. And I tried to learn as much as I can. And Ben's an amazing actor, and I learned a lot from him. And it was to act in scenes with him. It was very surreal and very educational, and it was awesome.
Well, that's the point. When you learn from others, and when you surround you, and it goes back to the theme to GJ again, and the theme of when you surround yourself with the right people. By the way, you're going to learn from them as well, G. Not just they'll rub off on you. You're going to it's a learning experience to learn from the best, right, G?
Well, if you're going to be the best, you got to be around the best, and obviously Christian is doing that, and you definitely become who you hang out with, And when you're hanging out with the right people, then you're going to get the right things for yourself. And when you're hanging around with the wrong people, you're going to get the wrong things for yourself. So it definitely is a key component in life. And the Christian's doing a great thing with his career. So, Christian, where can our audience find more information about you? And when is the movie scheduled for release, Runner?
The movie comes out the 3rd week of September, I believe the 23rd or the 26th. And, they're just, it's going to be exciting rest of the year. And where they can find me, I don't know where they can find me. They can usually find me somewhere on Laurel Canyon, usually.
So you're just the IMBD? Good.
You can find me on that. And then, I actually just produced this music group, over the past year that I'm very proud of, called Cloney. And you can check them out at cloneymusic.com. And I think that you guys are really dig and appreciate what's going on with that. What else? What else I got going on? I'm producing a movie this summer that Scott Conn wrote and is going to star in, and Brett Ratner is producing as well. And, that's where you can find me.
So also, Christian, question I wanted to ask you, by having this opportunity, do you think that a lot of other jobs are going to come out, especially getting a lead actor role in this, that it's going to lead to other big opportunities? You're doing the production and for other projects and stuff, but do you see you auditioning for bigger parts now in Hollywood with this opportunity?
Ideally I would hope so. I don't have a crystal ball so we can't see the future, but I would think that maybe this might open up some doors and put me in a position to do some things that I might not have been able to do or have the opportunity to do prior to the movie. So, we'll see. I'm excited to see what comes of it, and hopefully let's have people, like me in the movie first and like the movie, and then we can go from there.
So tell us a little bit about the storyline of Runner Runner. What's the whole movie about?
Storyline is it's a gambling movie, and it's written by the same writers that wrote Rounders, and it's produced by Leonardo DiCaprio, and it's about a kid from Princeton who gets taken for $50,000 on a gambling site, and flies down to Costa Rica to try to get his money back, and ends up getting hired by the guy who owns the site, who is Ben Affleck, and it becomes this cat and mouse and suspense and deception, and that's it.
Pretty interesting for people that like card games.
I like that description. That'll get people in the theaters, right?
So GJ, I guess interesting when you talk about the whole thing about gambling and things like that. That's got to be interesting storyline, especially with the two actors and stuff. G, you'll have to definitely check it out when it comes into theaters. Absolutely, right, G?
Well, absolutely, and as we get closer to the movie launch in September, we'll have to have you back on the show and give us some updates of what's happening, since this show airs. And, obviously you're on the good things, and we look forward to following you. And what's your 90-day challenge that you'd like to overcome, or, what's your 90-day challenge goal for the next 90 days for yourself?
What's my 90-day challenge?
Yes. What is the goal you have to achieve in the next 90 days?
I guess just make it to day 90, and then figure out how to do it again after I said that. Try to live as clean and as good as I can. And stop getting parking tickets. That's my goal for the next 90 days.
See, that's Pittsburgh, GJ. We're characters in Pittsburgh. Trust me.
I definitely learned that.
We just keep going, and we keep going. So, Christian, what we need to do is work on, especially now you're after this movie, you got to get a Twitter so that all the followers are going to follow you and stuff, and start tweeting out stuff. Absolutely, and Facebook. Good.
I'm just getting involved with all that now and putting all that stuff together, and I'll let you guys know what it is when I got it.
Is Runner Runner have a Twitter?
I don't know if Runner Runner has a Twitter yet. I know it's up on IMDb. All the information is up there for that. Cloney has a Twitter, cloneymusic.com, or Cloney Music, at Cloney Music. And, yeah, man, that's all the Twitters and social media things I could tell you about right now.
So do you make it back to Pittsburgh a lot, Christian, by the way? Do you get an opportunity?
It's my grandfather's 90th birthday this weekend, so I'm coming in to celebrate that with him.
Oh, wow. So you'll be in Pittsburgh this weekend. Interesting. Wow. So in Monroeville, right?
I'll be in Pittsburgh. I grew up in Monroeville. Yeah, I'll be in Monroeville, and I'll be downtown, and only in for a couple of days, so I got to go see all the family and do all that. But I really enjoy coming into Pittsburgh. It grounds me, and I'm just a Pittsburgh kid at heart,
I understand, but we hope for real great success for Runner Runner, and stay on the line for a second so G can get some more information on you so we can kind of stay in touch via certain things. But I appreciate you calling, Christian. It's great to have a Pittsburgh boy going to be on the top billing with Ben Affleck. You can continue to do that everywhere you go. That's your calling. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm co-starring with Ben Affleck, especially with the Oscars. Yeah. That's the great name-dropping thing. So thanks again for calling, Christian.
So thank you for having me. No, GJ, thank you for having me. Pleasure talking to you.
Okay.
Look forward to meeting you, Christian.
All right, great show, G. We had a fantastic show, and we'll talk next week. All right, G? Take care. All right, see ya. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks.
Okay, bye.